Nehemiah 1. The words of Nehemiah, son of Hakaliah. And it came to pass in the month of Kislev, in the 20th year, when I was in Susa, the stronghold, that Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and some of Judah, and I asked them about the Jews who had escaped, and who remained from the captivity, and about Jerusalem. And they said to me, the rest, who remained in captivity, there in the province are in great misery and contempt, and the wall of Jerusalem was broken and its gates were burned with fire. And it came to pass, when I heard these words, that I sat down and wept, and lamented for some days, and I have been fasting and praying before the God of heaven. And he said, O Lord God of heaven, great and terrible God, who keeps covenant and kindness toward those who love him and keep his commandments. Let your ears therefore be attentive and your eyes open, to hear the prayer of your servant, which I pray before you today, day and night, for the children of Israel, your servants, and I make confession for the sins of the children of Israel, which we have committed against you. I also and my father's house have sinned. We have completely corrupted ourselves against you, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments, which you commanded Moses your servant. Remember therefore the word which you commanded Moses your servant, saying, You will transgress, and I will scatter you among the peoples. And you will return to me, and you will keep my commandments and do them. Then, even though your rejected ones are at the end of heaven, from there I will gather them and bring them to the place that I have chosen to make my name dwell there. They are your servants and your people whom you rescued with your great strength and with your strong hand. O Lord, let your ears therefore be attentive to the prayer of your servant, and to the prayer of your servants who desire to fear your name, and make your servant prosperous today, and give him favor before this man. So I was the king's cupbearer. Nehemiah 2. So it came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of King Artaxerxes, that wine was set before him, and I took the wine and gave it to the king, but I had never been sad before him. And the king said unto me, Why is thy face sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing but sadness of heart, so I feared greatly. And he said to the king, Long live the king forever. How would my face not be sad, when the city, the place of my father's tombs, was devastated, and its gates were consumed by fire? And the king said to me, What do you ask of me now? So I prayed to the God of heaven. And he said to the king, If it please the king, and if your servant is accepted in your presence, I pray you, send me to Judah, to the city of my father's tombs, that I may rebuild it. Then the king said to me, as the queen sat by him, How long will your journey last, and when will you return? And it pleased the king to send me, and I appointed him a certain time. And he said to the king, If it seems good to the king, let me be given letters to the governors beyond the river, so that they may allow me to pass until I reach Judah. And also a letter to Asaph, keeper of the king's forest, to give me wood to cover the gates of the palace of the house, for the wall of the city, and for the house which I shall enter. And the king gave, but, according to the good hand of God upon me. Then I went to the governors beyond the river, and gave them the king's letters, and the king had sent with me captains of the army and knights. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the Ammonite servant heard it, they were extremely displeased that someone should come to seek the good of the children of Israel. And I came to Jerusalem, and was there 3 days. And I arose in the night, I and a few men with me, and declared to no one what my God had put in my heart to do in Jerusalem, and there was no animal with me except the one on which I was riding. And by night I went out by the gate of the valley, and by the fountain of the dragon, and by the gate of the dunghill, and beheld the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken, and the gates thereof, which had been consumed by fire. And I passed to the fountain gate, and to the king's pool, and there was no place where the animal he was riding could pass. Still, at night I went up the stream and looked at the wall, and turning I entered through the valley gate, so I came back. And the magistrates did not know where I had gone or what I was doing, for he had not yet declared anything to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the magistrates, nor to those who did the work. Then he said to them, You see the misery we are in, that Jerusalem is desolate, and its gates have been burned with fire. Come therefore, and let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, and let us no longer be a reproach. Then I declared to them how the hand of my God had been favorable to me, and also the words of the king which he had spoken to me. Then they said, Let us arise, and let us build. And they exerted their hands for good. When Sanballat the Horonite, and Tobiah the Ammonite servant, and Geshem the Arab heard, they mocked us, and despised us, and said, What is this that ye do? Do you want to rebel against the king? Then I answered them, and said, It is the God of heaven that will prosper us, and we as servants will arise and build, but you have no part, no righteousness, no memory in Jerusalem. Nehemiah 3. And Eliashib the high priest arose with his brethren the priests, and they rebuilt the cattle gate, which they consecrated, and they raised up their gates, and consecrated as far as the tower of Meah, and as far as the tower of Hananel. And the men of Jericho built next to it, also at his side he built Zachar, the son of Imri. And the children of Hasenub built at the fish gate, which they built up, and set up its doors, with their locks and their bolts. And Mirmoth the son of Uriah, the son of Koz, repaired by his side, and at his side repaired Meshullam the son of Berechiah, the son of Meshezabeel, and at his side repaired Zadok the son of Baanah. And the Tekoites repaired beside him, but their nobles did not submit their necks to the service of their lord. And Jehoiada the son of Paseah and Meshullam the son of Besodias repaired the old gate, these built it, and set up its doors with their locks and their bolts. And beside him repaired Melatius the Gibeonite and Jadam the Meronotite, men of Gibeon and Mizpah, who belonged to the governor's domain beyond the river. Next to him stood Uzziel, the son of Hariah, one of the goldsmiths, and at his side Hananiah, the son of one of the apothecaries, repaired, and they fortified Jerusalem up to the broad wall. And by his side stood Rephaiah the son of Hur, leader of the half of Jerusalem. And at his side repaired Jediah the son of Harumaph, and opposite his house and at his side repaired Hattus the son of Hashabniah. The other portion repaired Malchiah the son of Haram, and Hashub the son of Pathmoab, as well as the oven tower. And Shallum the son of Haloish, leader of the other half of Jerusalem, repaired by his side, he and his daughters. Hanan and the inhabitants of Zanoah repaired the gate of the valley, they built it, and built its doors with their locks and bolts, and 1,000 cubits of the wall, as far as the gate of the dunghill. And Malchiah the son of Rechab, leader of the district of Beth-Hatcherim, repaired the door of the dunghill, he built it, and built its doors with their locks and their bolts. And Shallum the son of Calhoz, leader of the district of Mizpeh, repaired the fountain gate, he built it, covered it, and built its doors with their locks and bolts, as well as the wall of the pool of Haselah, at the foot of the king's garden, and as far as the steps leading down from the city of David. After him built Nehemiah the son of Azbuk, leader of the half of Beth-zur, as far as the tombs of David, as far as the artificial pool and as far as the house of the mighty men. After him the Levites repaired Rehum son of Bani, beside him noticed Hazabiah, leader of the half of Keilah, in his district. After him, his brothers, Bavai, son of Henadad, leader of the other half of Keilah, repaired. Next to him, Ezra, son of Jeshua, leader of Mizpah, noticed another portion, opposite the ascent to the armory, at the corner. After him Baruch, son of Zabai, repaired with great ardor another measure, from the corner to the door of the house of Eliashib, the high priest. After him Mirmoth the son of Uriah, the son of Koz, repaired another portion, from the gate of Eliashib's house to the end of Eliashib's house. And after him the priests who dwelt in the plain repaired. Then he noticed Benjamin and Hashub in front of his house. After him Azariah the son of Maaseiah, the son of Ananias, repaired by his house. After him Binnui the son of Henadad repaired another portion, from the house of Azariah to the corner, into the corner. Palal, son of Uzai, noticed opposite the corner, in the tower that comes out of the upper royal house, which is next to the prison yard. After him Pedaiah, son of Paras. And the servants of the temple that dwelt in Ophel, as far as the water gate, toward the east, and as far as the high tower. Then the Tekoites repaired another portion, opposite the great and high tower, and as far as the wall of Ophel. From above the horse gate the priests repaired, each in front of his house. After them Zadok the son of Immer repaired in front of his house, and after him repaired Shemaiah the son of Shechaniah, guard of the eastern gate. After him Hananiah the son of Shelemiah and Hanan the son of Zalaph the sixth repaired another portion. After him Meshullam the son of Berechiah repaired in front of his chamber. After him Malchiah, the son of a goldsmith, repaired as far as the house of the temple servants and merchants, opposite the gate of Mifkad, and as far as the chamber in the corner. And between the corner chamber and the cattle gate, the goldsmiths and the merchants repaired. Nehemiah 4. And it came to pass, when Sanballat heard that we were building the wall, that he burned with wrath, and was very wroth, and mocked the Jews. And he spake in the presence of his brethren, and of the army of Samaria, and said, What do these weak Jews? Will they be allowed this? Will they sacrifice? Will they finish it in a single day? Will the stones that have been burned be revived from the heaps of dust? And Tobiah the Ammonite was with him, and said, Even if they build, yet if a fox comes, he will easily break down their stone wall. Hear, O our God, who are so despised, and take their reproach upon their heads, and give them as prey in the land of captivity. And do not cover their iniquity, and do not blot out their sin from before you, for they provoked you to anger in the presence of the builders. But we built the wall, and the whole wall was closed up to its half, because the people's hearts were inclined to work. And it came to pass, when Sanballat and Tobiah, and the Arabs, the Ammonites, and the Ashdodites, heard that the repair of the walls of Jerusalem was increasing so much, that the breaches were beginning to be filled, they became very angry. And they all gathered together to come and fight against Jerusalem, and to divert them from their intention. But we prayed to our God and set a guard against them day and night for their sake. Then Judah said, The strength of the bearers has failed, and the dust is too much, and we will not be able to build the wall. But our enemies said, They shall know nothing of this, nor see it, until we come in among them, and kill them, so we will stop the work. And it came to pass, when the Jews that dwelt among them came, that they said unto us 10 times, They will come again against us from every place. Then I set guards in the low places behind the wall and in the high places, and I set the people by their families with their swords, with their spears, and with their bows. And I looked, and stood up, and said to the nobles, and to the magistrates, and to the rest of the people, Fear them not, remember the great and terrible Lord, and fight for your brothers, your children, your wives, and your homes. And it came to pass, when our enemies heard that we knew it already, and that God had dispelled their counsel, that we all returned to the wall, each one to his work. And it came to pass from that day that half of my servants worked on the work, and half of them had the spears, the shields, the bows and the breastplates, and the leaders were behind the whole house of Judah. Those who built the wall, those who carried the loads and those who carried it, each one did the work with one hand, and in the other he had the weapons. And the builders each had his sword girded about his waist, and they built, and he who blew the trumpet was with me. And I said to the nobles, to the magistrates, and to the rest of the people, Great and extensive is the work, and we are separated from the wall, far from one another. In the place where you hear the sound of the horn, there you will join us, our God will fight for us. This is how we worked on the project, and half of them had spears from the rising of the dawn until the rising of the stars. Also at that time he said to the people, Let each one with his servant remain in Jerusalem, so that they may serve as our guard by night, and by day on the work. And neither I, nor my brothers, nor my servants, nor the men of the guard who followed me let go of our clothes, each had their weapons and water. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and leave a comment. Nehemiah 5. However, the outcry of the people and their women was great against the Jews, their brothers. For there were those who said, We, our sons and our daughters, are many, then let us take wheat, that we may eat and live. There were also those who said, We have pawned our lands, our vineyards and our houses to take wheat in this famine. There were also those who said, We borrowed money even for the king's tribute, on our lands and our vineyards. Now therefore our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren, and our children as their children, and behold, we subject our sons and our daughters to be servants, and even some of our daughters are so subject, that they are no longer in the power of our hands, and others have our lands and our vineyards. So when I heard their cry and these words, I was very angry. And I considered with myself in my heart, then I fought with the nobles and the magistrates, and I said to them, You are usurers, each one to his brother. And I called a great assembly against them. And he said unto them, We have redeemed our brethren the Jews, which were sold unto the nations, according to our means, and would you again sell your brothers, or would you sell yourselves to us? Then they fell silent, and did not think to respond. He said further, What you do is not good. Would you not walk in the fear of our God, because of the reproach of the nations, our enemies? I also, my brothers and my servants, have lent them money and wheat on interest. Let's leave this gain. Restore to them today, I pray you, their lands, their vineyards, their olive groves and their houses, as well as the 100th part of the money, of the wheat, of the new wine and of the oil, which you require of them." Then they said, "We will restore them, and we will not seek anything from them, we will do as you say." Then I called the priests, and made them swear that they would do according to this word. I also shook my clothes, and said, "May God shake every man from his house and from his work who does not confirm this word, and let him be shaken and empty." And the whole congregation said, "Amen." And they praised the Lord, and the people did according to this word. Also from the day that he commanded me to be his governor in the land of Judah, from the 20th year, until the 32nd year of King Artaxerxes, 12 years, neither I nor my brothers ate the governor's bread. But the first governors, who were before me, oppressed the people, and took from them bread and wine, and in addition, 40 shekels of silver, even as their servants ruled over the people, but I did not do so, because of the fear of God. As also in the work of this wall I made repairs, and we did not buy any land, and all my servants gathered together to work there. Also of the Jews and the magistrates, 150 men, and those who came to us from among the nations that are around us, sat at my table. And what was prepared for each day was an ox and 6 chosen sheep. Birds were also prepared for me, and, every 10 days, a lot of wine of all kinds, and I did not therefore demand bread from the governor, because the servitude of this people was great. Remember me for good, O my God, and all that I have done for this people. Nehemiah 6. It came to pass, when Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem the Arab, and the rest of our enemies heard, that I had built the wall, and that there was no breach in it, although until this time I had not put the gates and the portals. Sanballat and Geshem sent and said to me, "Come, and let us gather together in the villages in the valley of Ono." But they tried to harm me. And I sent messengers to them, saying, "I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should this work cease while I leave it and come to you?" And in the same way they sent to me 4 times, and I answered them in the same way. Then for the 5th time Sanballat sent his servant to me with an open letter in his hand, and in which it was written, "It was heard among the Gentiles, and Gasma says, You and the Jews intend to rebel, so you build the wall, and thou shalt make thyself king of them according to these words. And that thou hast appointed prophets to preach of thee in Jerusalem, saying, This is king in Judah, so that the king will hear him, according to these words, so come now, and let us consult together." But I sent word to him, "Nothing of all that you said has happened, but you, from your heart, invent it." For they all sought to frighten us, saying, "Their hands will let go of the work, and it will not be done. Now therefore, O God, strengthen my hands." And when I came into the house of Shemaiah the son of Delaiah, the son of Mehetabel, who was shut up, he said, "Let us go together to the house of God, into the midst of the temple, and let us shut the doors of the temple, because they will come to kill you, yes, at night they will come to kill you." But I said, "Would a man like me run away? And who is there, like me, who enters the temple that he may live? There's no way I'm going in." And I realized that it was not God who had sent him, but this prophecy spoke against me, because Tobiah and Sanballat bribed him. For this they bribed him, to frighten me, and so that I would do this, and sin, so that they would have some cause to slander me, and thus reproach me. Remember, my God, Tobiah and Sanballat, according to these works of theirs, and also the prophetess Noadiah, and the other prophets who sought to frighten me. So the wall was finished on the 25th of the month of Elul, in 52 days. And it came to pass, when all our enemies heard it, that all the people that were round about us were afraid, and were greatly cast down in their own eyes, because they recognized that our God had done this work. Also in those days some nobles of Judah wrote many letters that went to Tobias, and Tobias's letters came to them. For many in Judah were sworn to him, because he was the son-in-law of Shechaniah the son of Ezra, and his son Johanan had married the daughter of Meshullam, son of Berechiah. Also his good deeds counted before me, and my words conveyed to him, therefore Tobias wrote letters to frighten me. Nehemiah 7. It came to pass, after the wall was built, that I raised up the gates, and the gatekeepers, the singers, and the Levites were established. I appointed Hanani my brother and Hananiah leader of the fortress over Jerusalem, for he was a faithful and God-fearing man, more than many. And he said unto them, Let not the gates of Jerusalem be opened until the sun waxeth hot, and while those who stand by remain there, shut the gates, and you lock them, and let them set themselves guards for the inhabitants of Jerusalem, every one in his guard, and every one in front of his house. And the city was wide and large, but there were few people within it, and the houses were not yet built. Then my God put it into my heart to gather together the nobles, the magistrates, and the people, to record the genealogies, and I found the book of the genealogy of those who went up first, and in it was written the following. These are the children of the province, who came up from the captivity of the exiles, whom Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon carried away, and they returned to Jerusalem and to Judah, each to his own city. Who came with Zerubbabel, Jeshua, Nehemiah, Azariah, Ramiah, Naamani, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mispereth, Bigvai, Num, and Baanah. This is the number of the men of the people of Israel. They were the sons of Peros, 2,172. The sons of Shephatiah, 372. The sons of Era, 652. The children of Pahath Moab, of the children of Jeshua and of Joab, 2,818. The children of Elam, 1,254. The sons of Zatu, 845. The sons of Zakai, 760. The sons of Binnui, 648. The children of Bebai, 628. The sons of Asgad, 2,322. The sons of Adamacham, 667. The sons of Bigvai, 2,067. The sons of Adam, 655. The sons of Ater, of Hezekiah, 98. The sons of Hassum, 328. The sons of Bazai, 324. The sons of Hariph, 112. The sons of Gibeon, 95. The men of Balaam and Netopha, 188. The men of Anathoth, 128. The men of Beth Asmaveth, 42. The men of Kiriath-Jearim, Kephra and Beeroth, 743. The men of Ramah and Geba, 621. The men of Michmash, 122. The men of Bethel and Ai, 123. The men of the other Nebo, 52. The sons of the other Elam, 1,254. The sons of Haram, 320. The children of Jericho, 345. The sons of Lod, Hadid and Ono, 721. The children of Sina, 3,930. The priests, the sons of Jediah, of the house of Jeshua, 973. The sons of Immer, 1,052. The sons of Pashur, 1,247. The sons of Haram, 1,017. The Levites, the children of Jeshua, of Kadmiel, of the children of Hodiva, 74. The singers, the sons of Asaph, 148. The gatekeepers, the children of Shallum, the children of Ater, the children of Talmon, the children of Akub, the children of Hadadah, the children of Shobai, 138. The servants of the temple, the children of Ziah, the children of Hasapha, the children of Tabaoth. The children of Koresh, the children of Sia, the children of Paddan. The children of Labana, the children of Hagabah, the children of Salmai. The children of Hanan, the children of Giddel, the children of Gar. The sons of Reah, the sons of Rezin, the sons of Nekoda. The children of Gazan, the children of Uzzah, the children of Pashia. The children of Bashai, the children of Munim, the children of Nephusim. The sons of Bakbuk, the sons of Hakapha, the sons of Harar. The children of Baslite, the children of Madah, the children of Harsa. The children of Barkos, the children of Sisera, the children of Tama. The children of Neziah, the children of Hatapha. The sons of Solomon's servants, the sons of Sotai, the sons of Sophereth, the sons of Perida. The children of Jala, the children of Darkam, the children of Giddel. The children of Shephatiah, the children of Hattil, the children of Patrath Hazbaim, the children of Ammon. All the servants of the temple and the sons of Solomon's servants, 392. These also went up from Tel Melah, and Tel Harsa, Cherub, Adam, Immer, but they could not prove that their parents' house and their lineage were from Israel. The children of Deliah, the children of Tobiah, the children of Nekoda, 642. And of the priests, the sons of Habiah, the sons of Cuz, the sons of Barzillai, who took a wife from the daughters of Barzillai the Gileadite, and was called by his name. They sought their record in the genealogical books, but it was not found. Then, as unclean, they were excluded from the priesthood. And the governor told them not to eat the holy things until the priest came forward with Urim and Thummim. This whole congregation together was 42,360. Besides his servants and his maidservants, who were 7,337, and they had 245 male and female singers. His horses, 736, their mules, 245. Camels, 435, donkeys, 6,720. And some of the parents' heads contributed to the work. The governor gave to the treasury, in gold, 1,000 drachmas, 50 basins, and 530 priestly garments. And some more of the heads of the fathers contributed to the treasury of the work, in gold, 20,000 drachmas, and in silver, 2,200 pounds. And what the rest of the people gave was 20,000 drachmas in gold, and 2,000 pounds in silver, and 67 priestly garments. And the priests, the Levites, the gatekeepers, the singers, some of the people, the servants of the temple, and all Israel lived in their cities. Nehemiah 8:1. And when the 7th month was come, and the children of Israel were in their cities, all the people came together as one man, in the street before the water gate, and they told Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord had commanded Israel. 2. And Ezra the priest brought the law before the congregation, both men and women, and all who could hear with understanding, on the 1st day of the 7th month. 3. And he read in the book before the street, which is before the water gate, from dawn until noon, before men and women, and those who could understand, and the ears of all the people were attentive to the book of the law. 4. And Ezra the scribe stood upon a wooden pulpit, which they had made for that purpose, and there stood by him, on his right hand, Mattithiah, Shema, Ananiah, Uriah, Hilkiah, and Messiah, and on his left hand, Pedaiah, Mishael, Melchiah, Hasan, Hasbaddanah, Zechariah, and Meshullam. 5. And Ezra opened the book in the sight of all the people, because he was above all the people, and when he opened it, all the people stood up. 6. And Ezra praised the Lord, the great God, and all the people answered, Amen, Amen, raising your hands, and they bowed their heads, and worshipped the Lord, with their faces to the ground. 7. And Jeshua, Bani, Sherebiah, Jamin, Akub, Sabbatai, Hodiah, Messiah, Kelita, Azariah, Jozabad, Hanan, Peliah, and the Levites taught the people in the law, and the people were in their place. 8. And they read in the book, in the law of God, and by declaring and explaining the meaning, they made it understandable by reading it. 9. And Nehemiah, who was the governor, and Ezra the priest, the scribe, and the Levites who taught the people, said to all the people, This day is holy to the Lord your God, so do not mourn or weep. For all the people wept when they heard the words of the law. 10. And he said unto them, Go, eat the fat things, and drink the sweet things, and send portions unto them that have nothing prepared for them, because this day is consecrated to our Lord, therefore do not be sad, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. 11. And the Levites silenced all the people, saying, Be silent, because this day is holy, so do not be sad. 12. Then all the people went away to eat, to drink, to send portions, and to make great rejoicing, because they understood the words that made them know. 13. And the next day the heads of the fathers of all the people, the priests and the Levites, gathered together to Ezra the scribe, and this to pay attention to the words of the law. 14. And they found it written in the law, that the Lord commanded, through the ministry of Moses, that the children of Israel should dwell in tents, on the solemnity of the festival, in the 7th month. 15. So they published, and made a proclamation throughout all their cities, and in Jerusalem, saying, Go out into the mountain, and bring branches of olive trees, and branches of wild olives, and branches of myrtles, and branches of palm trees, and branches of fig trees, to make huts, as written. 16. So the people went out, and brought them together, and made themselves tents, every man on his own terrace, in his courts, and in the courts of the house of God, in the square of the water gate, and in the square of the gate of Ephraim. 17 And all the congregation of them that returned from the captivity made booths, and dwelt in the booths, for the children of Israel never did so from the days of Jeshua the son of Nun until that day, and there was great joy. 18 And day by day Ezra read in the book of the law of God, from the first day to the last, and they celebrated the solemnity of the feast 7 days, and on the 8th day there was a solemn assembly, according to the rite. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and leave a comment. Nehemiah 9. And on the 24th day of this month the children of Israel came together with fasting and sackcloth, and brought earth upon them. And the descendants of Israel separated themselves from all the foreigners, and they stood and made confession for their sins and for the iniquities of their fathers. And rising up in their place, they read in the book of the law of the Lord their God a fourth part of the day, and in the other fourth part they made confession, and worshipped the Lord their God. And Jeshua, Bani, Kadmiel, Shebaniah, Buni, Sherebiah, Bani, and Kenani stood on the high place of the Levites, and cried with a loud voice to the Lord their God. And the Levites, Jeshua, Kadmiel, Bani, Hashabniah, Sherebiah, Hodiah, Shebaniah, and Petaiah, said, Arise, bless the Lord your God from everlasting to everlasting, and bless your glorious name, which is exalted above all blessing and praise. Only you are Lord, you made the heaven of heavens, and all the host thereof, the earth and all that is in it, the seas and all that is in them, and you keep them all alive, and the host of heaven worships you. You are the Lord, the God, who chose Abram, and brought him out of Ur of the Chaldeans, and gave his name Abraham. And you found his heart faithful before you, and made a covenant with him, that you would give to his descendants the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites and the Girgashites, and you confirmed your words, because you are righteous. And you saw the affliction of our fathers in Egypt, and heard their cry at the Red Sea. And you showed signs and wonders to Pharaoh, and to all his servants, and to all the people of his land, because you knew that they treated them superbly, and thus you acquired a name for yourself, as it is today. And you split the sea before them, and they passed through the midst of the sea on dry ground, and you cast their pursuers into the depths, like a stone into raging waters. And you led them by day by a pillar of cloud, and by night by a pillar of fire, to show them the way where they should go. And you came down upon Mount Sinai, and spoke to them from heaven, and gave them righteous judgments and true laws, statutes and good commandments. And you made your holy Sabbath known to them, and precepts, statutes and law you commanded them through the ministry of Moses your servant. And you gave them bread from heaven when they were hungry, and you gave them water from the rock when they were thirsty, and you told them to go in and possess the land for which you raised your hand, which you were to give them. But they and our fathers acted proudly, and hardened their necks, and did not hearken to your commandments. And they refused to hear thee, and remembered not thy wonders which thou didst for them, and they hardened their necks, and in their rebellion they raised up a captain, that they might return to their servitude. But you, O forgiving, gracious and merciful God, slow to anger and abundant in kindness, did not forsake them. Yet even when they made themselves a molten calf, and said, This is your God, who brought you up out of Egypt, and committed great blasphemies. Yet you, in the multitude of your mercies, did not leave them in the wilderness. The pillar of cloud never departed from them by day to guide them along the way, nor the pillar of fire by night to give them light, and this along the way they were to go. And you gave your good spirit to teach them, and you did not take your manna out of his mouth, and you gave them water for their thirst. You sustained them in such a way for 40 years in the desert, they lacked nothing, his clothes did not grow old, and his feet did not swell. You also gave them kingdoms and peoples, and divided them into portions, and they possessed the land of Sion, even the land of the king of Heshbon, and the land of Og king of Bashan. And you multiplied their children like the stars of heaven, and brought them into the land about which you told their fathers that they would enter it to possess it. So the children entered and possessed that land, and you slaughtered before them the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, and gave them into their hands, as well as the kings and the peoples of the land, to do with them according to their will. And they took fortified cities and fertile land, and possessed houses full of all abundance, dug cisterns, vineyards and olive groves, and fruit trees, in abundance, and they ate and were satisfied and became fat and lived in delight, because of your great goodness. But they became obstinate and rebelled against you, and cast your law behind their backs, and killed your prophets who protested against them, so that they would return to you. So they did great abominations. Therefore you delivered them into the hands of their adversaries, who distressed them. But in the time of his trouble, when he cried out to thee, thou heardest from heaven, and according to your great mercy you gave them deliverers who freed them from the hand of their adversaries. But when they had rest, they did evil again before you, and you left them in the hand of their enemies, so that they could rule over them. And when they converted and cried out to you, you heard them from heaven, and according to your mercy you delivered them many times. And you testified against them, that they might return to your law, but they acted proudly, and did not hearken to your commandments, but sinned against your judgments, by which the man who does them shall live. They turned their shoulders, stiffened their necks, and would not listen. But you extended your kindness to them for many years, and testified against them by your Spirit, through the ministry of your prophets, but they did not listen. Therefore you delivered them into the hands of the people of the lands. But by your great mercy you did not destroy them or forsake them, because you are a gracious and merciful God. Now therefore, our God, the great and mighty and terrible God, who keeps covenant and kindness, do not count lightly all the affliction that has befallen us, our kings, our princes, our priests, our prophets, our fathers, and all your people, from the days of the kings of Assyria to this day. But you are righteous in everything that has come upon us, for you have acted faithfully, and we have acted wickedly. And our kings, our princes, our priests, and our fathers did not keep your law, nor hearken to your commandments and your testimonies, which you testified against them. For neither in their kingdom, nor in the abundance of goods which you gave them, nor in the spacious and fertile land which you set before them, did they serve you, nor did they turn from their evil deeds. Behold, today we are servants, and even in the land which you gave to our fathers, to eat its fruit and its good things, behold, we are servants in it. And she multiplies her produce for the kings whom you set over us because of our sins, and according to his will they rule over our bodies and over our cattle, and we are in great distress. And yet we made a firm covenant, and wrote it, and our princes, our Levites, and our priests sealed it. Nehemiah 10. And they that sealed it were Nehemiah the governor, the son of Hakaliah, and Zedekiah, Sariah, Azariah, Jeremiah, Pashur, Amariah, Malchiah, Addis, Shebaniah, Maluk, Haram, Mirmoth, Obadiah, Daniel, Gintam, Baruch, Meshullam, Abijah, Maiamim, Maziah, Bilgai, Shemaiah. These were the priests. And the Levites, Jeshua the son of Azaniah, Binnui of the children of Henadad, Kadmiel, and his brothers, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Kelita, Peliah, Hanan, Micah, Rehab, Hashabiah, Zachar, Sherebiah, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Bani, and Beninu. The chiefs of the people, Peras, Path-Moab, Elam, Zatu, Bani, Buni, Asgad, Bibai, Adonijah, Bigvai, Adam, Ater, Hezekiah, Asa, Hodiah, Hazan, Bazai, Harif, Anathoth, Nabai, Magbias, Meshullam, Hezer, Meshezabeel, Zadok, Jadua, Pelatiah, Hanan, Anaiah, Hosea, Hananiah, Hashub, Halos, Pile, Sobek, Rehum, Hashabnah, Messiah, and Ahijah, Hanan, Anan, Maluk, Haram, and Bana. And the rest of the people, the priests, the Levites, the gatekeepers, the singers, the servants of the temple, all who had separated themselves from the people of the lands to the law of God, their wives, their sons, and their daughters, all who had knowledge and understanding. The noblest among them adhered firmly to their brothers, and agreed on an anathema and an oath, that they would walk in the law of God, which was given through the ministry of Moses, the servant of God, and that they would keep and do all the commandments of the Lord our Lord, and his judgments, and his statutes. And that we would not give our daughters to the people of the earth, nor would we take their daughters for our sons. And if the people of the land brought any merchandise and any grain to sell on the Sabbath day, we would buy nothing from them on the Sabbath, nor on the holy day, and in the 7th year we would let the land rest, and we would forgive any and all charges. We also laid precepts upon us, laying upon us each year the 3rd part of a shekel, for the ministry of the house of our God. for the showbread, for the continual meat offering, and for the continual burnt offering of the Sabbaths, of the new moons, for the feasts, for the holy things, and for the sacrifices for sin, for the atonement of Israel, and for all the work of the house of our God. We also cast lots among the priests, Levites, and the people, concerning the offering of wood that was to be brought to the house of our God, according to the houses of our fathers, at appointed times, from year to year, to be burned on the ground. Altar of the Lord our God, as it is written in the law. That we would also bring the firstfruits of our land, and the firstfruits of all the fruit of every tree, year by year, into the house of the Lord. And the firstborn of our children, and of our cattle, as it is written in the law, and that we would bring the firstborn of our cattle and of our sheep to the house of our God, to the priests, who minister in the house of our God. And we would bring the firstfruits of our dough, our heave offerings, the fruit of every tree, the new wine and the oil, to the priests, to the chambers of the house of our God, and the tithes of our land to the Levites, and that the Levites would receive tithes in all the cities, from our crops. And that the priest, the son of Aaron, would be with the Levites when they received the tithes, and that the Levites would bring the tithes of the tithes into the house of our God, into the chambers of the storehouse. For the children of Israel and the children of Levi must bring heave offerings of grain, new wine, and oil into those chambers, for the vessels of the sanctuary are there, as well as the ministering priests, the ushers, and the singers, and so that we would not abandon the house of our God. Nehemiah 11. And the leaders of the people dwelt in Jerusalem, but the rest of the people cast lots, to draw 1 out of 10, to dwell in the holy city of Jerusalem, and the 9 parts in the other cities. And the people blessed all the men who voluntarily offered themselves to live in Jerusalem. And these are the heads of the province, which dwelt in Jerusalem, but in the cities of Judah each man lived in his own possession, in his cities, Israel, the priests, the Levites, the servants of the temple, and the sons of Solomon's servants. So some of the children of Judah and the children of Benjamin lived in Jerusalem. Of the children of Judah, Aphiah, the son of Uzziah, the son of Zechariah, the son of Amariah, the son of Shephatiah, the son of Mahalaleel, of the children of Perez. And Messiah, the son of Baruch, the son of Kolhoz, the son of Haziah, the son of Adiah, the son of Joarib, the son of Zechariah, the son of Shaloni. All the sons of Perez, who dwelt in Jerusalem, were 468 mighty men of valor. And these are the sons of Benjamin, Shalu, the son of Meshullam, the son of Jod, the son of Pedaiah, the son of Kaliah, the son of Messiah, the son of Ithiel, the son of Josiah. And after him Gabai and Salai, 928 in all. And Joel the son of Zichri was overseer over them, and Judah the son of Senua, the second over the city. Of the priests, Jediah son of Joarib, Jachin. Sariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Zadok, son of Meraioth, son of Ahitub, leader of the house of God. And his brothers, who did the work in the house, 822, and Adiah the son of Jerome, the son of Pelalias, the son of Anzi, the son of Zechariah, the son of Pashur, the son of Malchiah. And his brothers, chief fathers, 242, and Amashai, the son of Azareel, the son of Azai, the son of Meshulmoth, the son of Immer. And their brethren, mighty men of valor, 128, and Zabdiel the son of Gedalim, superintendent over them. And of the Levites, Shemaiah the son of Hashub, the son of Azrikam, the son of Hashabiah, the son of Buni. And Sabbatai, and Jozabad, of the chiefs of the Levites, presided over the work outside the house of God. And Mattaniah the son of Micah, the son of Zabdi, the son of Asaph, the chief, who began thanksgiving and prayer, and Bakbukiah, the second of his brothers, then Abda, the son of Shammua, the son of Galal, the son of Jeduthun. All the Levites in the holy city were 284. And the gatekeepers, Akub, Talmon, with their brothers, the keepers of the gates, 172. And the remnant of Israel, of the priests and Levites, dwelt in all the cities of Judah, every man in his inheritance. And the servants of the temple dwelt in Ophel, and Ziat and Gispa presided over the servants of the temple. And the overseer of the Levites in Jerusalem was Uzzi, the son of Bani, the son of Hashabiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micah, of the sons of Asaph, the singers, in the service of the house of God. For there was a commandment from the king concerning them, and a certain rule for the singers, each on his own day. And Petaiah the son of Meshezabeel, of the children of Zerah the son of Judah, was at the hand of the king in all the affairs of the people. And as for the villages with their lands, some of the children of Judah dwelt in Kiriatharba and in the places of his jurisdiction, and in Dibon and in the places of his jurisdiction, and in Jekabzeel and in his villages, and in Jeshua, and in Melada, and in Beth-Pelet, and in Hazar-Sual, and in Beersheba, and in the places of his jurisdiction, and in Ziklag, in Makona, and in the places of his jurisdiction, and in En-Rimmon, in Zorah, and in Jarmuth, in Zanoah, Adullam and their villages, in Lachish and in his lands, in Azekah and in the places under his jurisdiction. They camped from Beersheba to the valley of Hinnom. And the children of Benjamin dwelt from Geba, in Michmash, Aia, Bethel, and in the places of their jurisdiction, and in Anathoth, in Nob, in Ananias, in Hazor, in Ramah, in Gittaim, in Hadid, in Zeboim, in Nebalath, in Lod and Ono, in the valley of the craftsmen. And some of the Levites dwelt in the divisions of Judah and Benjamin. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, leave your like, and make a comment. Nehemiah 12. These are the priests and Levites who went up with Zerubbabel son of Shealtiel and with Jeshua, Sariah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amarias, Maluk, Hadis, Sekanias, Rehum, Mirmoth, Gon, Genitoi, Abijah, Mayamim, Medias, Bilgah, Shemaiah, Joyarib, Jediah, Salu, Amokeh, Hilkiah, Jediah. These were the chief priests and their brethren in the days of Jeshua. And the Levites, Jeshua, Binnui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, Mattaniah, he and his brothers led the praises. And Bakbukias and Uni, his brothers, were opposite them in the guards. And Jeshua begot Jehoiakim, and Jehoiakim begot Eliashib, and Eliashib begot Jehoiada. And Jehoiada begot Jonathan, and Jonathan begot Jaddua. And in the days of Jehoiakim they were priests, heads of the fathers, of Sariah, Moriah, of Jeremiah, Hananiah. From Ezra, Meshullam, of Amarias, Joanna. From Maluki, Janatas, of Shebaniah, Joseph. From Haram, Adnah, from Meraioth, Helkai. From Iddo, Zechariah, from Giantum, Mesileo. From Abijah, Zikri, from Mayamim and from Moadiah, Piltai. From Bilgah, Samua, of Shemaiah, Jonathan. And from Joyarib, Mathani, of Jediah, Uzi. From Salai, Kalai, of Amokeh, Eber. From Hilkiah, Hashabiah, of Jediah, Nathaniel. Of the Levites, in the days of Eliashib, Jehoiada, Johanan, and Jaddua were enrolled as chief fathers, as well as the priests, until the reign of Darius the Persian. The sons of Levi were recorded as heads of fathers in the book of Chronicles until the days of Johanan son of Eliashib. So the leaders of the Levites were Hashabiah, Sherebiah, and Jeshua the son of Kadmiel, and his brothers stood before them, to praise and give thanks, according to the commandment of David the man of God, guard against guard. Mattaniah, Bakbukiah, Obadiah, Meshullam, Talmon and Akub, were doorkeepers, who guarded the treasuries at the doors. These lived in the days of Jehoiakim the son of Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, as also in the days of Nehemiah the governor, and of Ezra the priest the scribe. And at the dedication of the walls of Jerusalem they sought the Levites from all their places, to bring them, to make the dedication with joy, with praises and with singing, psalteries, cymbals and with harps. And so they gathered together the sons of the singers, both from the countryside of Jerusalem, and from the villages of Netophathi, and also from the house of Gilgal, and from the fields of Geba, and Asmaveth, for the singers built for themselves villages on the outskirts of Jerusalem. And the priests and the Levites purified themselves, and immediately they purified the people, the gates, and the wall. Then I brought up the princes of Judah upon the wall, and ordered 2 great choirs in procession, one on the right hand upon the wall on the side of the gate of the dunghill. And after him went Hosea, and half the princes of Judah, and Azariah, and Ezra, and Meshullam, Judah, Benjamin, Shemaiah, and Jeremiah. And of the sons of the priests, with trumpets, Zechariah the son of Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micaiah, the son of Zachar, the son of Asaph. and his brothers, Shemaiah, and Azareel, Malalai, Hilalai, Mai, Nathaniel, Judah and Anani, with the musical instruments of David, the man of God, and Ezra the scribe went before them. Going thus to the gate of the spring, in front of them, they went up the stairs of the city of David, where the ascent of the wall begins, from above the house of David, to the water gate, on the east side. And the second choir went ahead, and I followed, and half of the people were on the wall, from the tower of the ovens, to the broad wall. And from the gate of Ephraim they passed over the old gate, and the fish gate, and by the tower of Hananiel, and the tower of Meah, to the cattle gate, and they stopped at the prison door. Then both choirs stopped at the house of God, as also I, and half the magistrates with me. And the priests Eliakim, Maaseiah, Miniamim, Micaiah, Elioenai, Zechariah, and Hananiah, with trumpets. Also, Maaseiah, Shemaiah, Eleazar, Uzzi, Johanan, Malchiah, Elam and Ezer, and the singers were heard, together with Jezreiah, their superintendent. And they offered great sacrifices on the same day and rejoiced, for God had made them glad with great joy, and even the women and children rejoiced, so that the joy of Jerusalem was heard far away. Also on the same day men were appointed over the chambers, over the treasuries, over the heave offerings, over the firstfruits, over the tithes, to gather into them, out of the fields of the cities, the parts of the law for the priests and for the Levites, for Judah was glad because of the priests and the Levites who were watching there. And he observed the precepts of his God, and those of purification, as well as the singers and doorkeepers, according to the commandment of David and his son Solomon. For in the days of David and Asaph, from ancient times, there were leaders of singers, and of songs of praise and thanksgiving to God. Therefore all Israel, in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemiah, gave the singers and the doorkeepers their daily portions, and they sanctified the portions for the Levites, and the Levites sanctified them for the sons of Aaron. Nehemiah 13. On that day it was read in the book of Moses in the ears of the people, and it was found written in it that the Ammonites and the Moabites should never enter into the congregation of God, because they had not gone out to meet the children of Israel with bread and water, but they hired Balaam against them to curse them, but our God turned the curse into a blessing. So it came to pass, when they heard this law, that they separated from Israel the whole mixed element. Now before this, Eliashib, the priest, who presided over the chamber of the house of our God, had a relationship with Tobias. And he had made a large chamber for it, where the food offerings, the incense, the utensils, the tithes of the grain, the new wine and the oil, which were ordained for the Levites, singers and porters, as well as the heave offering for the priests. But during all this I was not in Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes king of Babylon I came to the king, but after a few days I again obtained permission from the king. And returning to Jerusalem, I understood the evil that Eliashib had done to Tobias, making him a chamber in the courts of the house of God, which really displeased me, so I threw all the furniture in Tobias's house outside the chamber. And when I commanded it, they purified the chambers, and I brought there again the utensils of the house of God, with the meat offerings and the incense. I also understood that the Levites' portions were not given to them, so that the Levites and the singers, who did the work, had fled each one to their own land. Then I contended with the magistrates, and said, Why is the house of God forsaken? But I gathered them together, and restored them to their station. Then all Judah brought tithes of grain, new wine, and oil into the barns. And I set as treasurers over the barns Shelemiah the priest, and Zadok the scribe, and Pedaiah, of the Levites, and with them Hanan the son of Zachar, the son of Mattaniah, because they were found faithful, and they were entrusted with distributing it to their brothers. Therefore, my God, remember me and do not take away the kindnesses that I have done to the house of my God and to his observances. In those days I saw in Judah those who treaded winepresses on the Sabbath and brought sheaves that they carried on their donkeys, as well as wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of cargo, which they brought to Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, and I protested against them on the day they sold supplies. There also lived in Jerusalem Tyrians who brought fish and all other merchandise, which they sold on the Sabbath to the children of Judah, and in Jerusalem. And I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, What evil is this that ye do, profaning the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers do this, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? and you add to the fierceness of his anger against Israel by profaning the Sabbath. So it came to pass that, having already shaded the gates of Jerusalem before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and I ordered them not to open them until after the Sabbath, and I set some of my servants at the gates, that no cargo should come in on the Sabbath day. Then the traders and sellers of all merchandise spent the night outside Jerusalem once or twice. So I protested against them, and said to them, "Why do you spend the night in front of the wall? If you do it again, I will lay hands on you." From that time on they did not come on the Sabbath. He also told the Levites to purify themselves and come and guard the doors to keep the Sabbath holy. In this also, my God, remember me and forgive me according to the abundance of your loving kindness. I also saw in those days Jews who had married Ashdodite, Ammonite and Moabite women. And his sons spoke half Ashdodite, and could not speak Jewish except according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and beat some of them, and plucked out their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, "Ye shall no more give your daughters to their sons, nor take their daughters any more either for your sons or for yourselves." Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin in this, when there was no king like him among many nations, and he was loved by his God, and God made him king over all Israel? And yet the foreign women made him sin. And would we listen to you, to do all this great evil, transgressing against our God, marrying foreign women? Also one of the sons of Jehoiada, the son of Eliashib the high priest, was the son-in-law of Sanballat the Horonite, so I drove him away from me. Remember them, my God, for they defiled the priesthood, as well as the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. So I cleansed them from all foreigners, and appointed the offices of the priests and the Levites, each one in his work. As also for the offerings of firewood at appointed times, and for the firstfruits, remember me, my God, for good. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, leave your like, and make a comment.